So, remember the FIFA raids we talked about in part 1? Yeah, that was just the beginning. Because a few days later, the most powerful man in world football suddenly stepped down. More arrests happened, more secrets came out, and the deeper the investigators went, the worse the corruption looked. This is the part of the FIFA scandal where everything started falling apart. Hey guys, welcome back to Deception Reports. In the last video, we talked about the shocking FBI raids in Zurich that exposed corruption inside FIFA. And honestly, most people thought that was the biggest moment of the scandal, but it wasn't. Because just a few days later, something even crazier happened. Sepp Blatter, the man who had been running FIFA for years, suddenly announced he was resigning. And once investigators started digging deeper, they found way more than anyone expected. Secret payments, World Cup vote scandals, more arrests, and even criminal cases against top officials. In this video, we're going to look at what happened after the raids, how the FIFA boss fell, how the investigations spread around the world, and why many people still believe the corruption never really stopped. Sepp Blatter resigns. The boss falls now. Here is the thing about the initial arrests. Sepp Blatter was not among those arrested on May 27th. Blatter had just been re-elected as FIFA president just days before the raids, and initially said he would stay on. Many people were furious. How could the head of FIFA survive this? But on June 2nd, 2015, just 5 days after the Zurich arrests, Sepp Blatter stunned the world by announcing his resignation as FIFA president. In a press conference, Blatter said, "I have been reflecting deeply about my presidency and about the 40 years in which my life has been inextricably bound to FIFA and the great sport of football." He claimed he had the support of the FIFA community, but acknowledged that not everyone in football wanted him there. He said he would serve until a replacement was found. Then, in September 2015, Swiss federal prosecutors announced they had opened a criminal investigation against Blatter himself relating to a suspicious payment of about $2 million he allegedly made to Michel Platini, the then UEFA president. In December 2015, FIFA's ethics committee banned Blatter from football, for 8 years later reduced to 6 years on appeal. Platini was also banned. The man who had run FIFA for nearly 2 decades, who had accumulated incredible power, and who had presided over the most corrupt era in the organization's history, was gone. More arrests, more indictments. The investigation expands. The May 2015 arrests were just the beginning. In December 2015, U.S. prosecutors announced a second wave of indictments, this time charging an additional 16 defendants, including more FIFA officials and sports marketing. The new charges added even more detail about the scope of the bribery schemes. Among the newly charged are officials from South American confederations, more marketing company executives, and additional CONCACAF figures. Total defendants eventually reached over 40 individuals and entities. Some pleaded guilty quickly and cooperated with prosecutors. Jose Ho, a Brazilian sports marketing mogul, pleaded guilty and agreed to pay $151 million in forfeiture, one of the largest in sports history. Multiple former CONCACAF and CONMEBOL officials pleaded guilty. Some fought extradition. Others fled. Jack Warner, despite being one of the most prominently accused, fought extradition from Trinidad and Tobago for years, using every legal avenue available. The World Cup hosting controversy. Qatar, 2022. The FIFA scandal also reignited controversy over one of the most debated decisions in World Cup history, awarding the 2022 World Cup to Qatar. The decision, made in December 2010, shocked the soccer world. Qatar is a tiny country with summer temperatures over 110 degrees Fahrenheit, no significant soccer culture, and had to build all its stadiums from scratch. Many observers suspected from day one that votes had been bought. While U.S. prosecutors focused mainly on the Americas-based corruption, Swiss and Qatari authorities launched their own investigations. Several former FIFA executive committee members who voted for Qatar faced scrutiny. A separate FIFA ethics investigation found evidence of rule violations in both the 2018 Russia and 2022 Qatar bids. The full truth about what happened with those votes has never been completely established in a court of law, but the suspicion remains strong. Human rights groups also highlighted the treatment of migrant workers who built Qatari's World Cup stadiums, with reports of thousands of deaths under horrific labor conditions. The corruption scandal added an extra layer of moral outrage to the whole situation. FIFA tries to reform in the wake of the scandal. FIFA faced enormous pressure to clean house. In February 2016, Gianni Infantino, A Swiss-Italian administrator who had been UEFA's general secretary was elected as FIFA's new president. Infantino promised reform. FIFA adopted a new governance structure, including salary disclosure for top officials, term limits for the president, an independent oversight and compliance committee, stricter ethics rules. Whether these reforms have actually changed FIFA as culture is debated. Critics argue the changes were largely cosmetic. Supporters say real structural improvements have been made. What's undeniable is that the scandal permanently changed how people view FIFA. The idea that it was simply a sports administration body was shattered. The world now knew it had been, for decades, something much darker. Verdicts and consequences. Let's talk about what actually happened in court. Many of the key figures pleaded guilty and cooperated with US authorities, but some fought the charges. In 2017, the first major trial concluded. Two former South American soccer officials, Juan Ángel Napout, former CONMEBOL president, and Manuel Berga, former Peruvian Football Federation president, were convicted at trial in a Brooklyn federal court. In 2020, Costas Taka's former CONCACAF official was sentenced to 15 months in prison. Sentences across the board ranged from probation to several years in prison. Many defendants also faced massive financial penalties and forfeiture orders. Jack Warner, perhaps the most prominent figure, was never extradited to the United States as of the time of this video. He has continued to fight the process from Trinidad and Tobago. Sepp Blatter faced Swiss criminal proceedings. In 2021, a Swiss court trial of Blatter began. In 2022, he was acquitted of fraud charges related to the Platini payment, though prosecutors appealed. His era remains deeply tarnished regardless. Why this matters the bigger picture? You might be wondering, why does this matter to regular people? Why should you care about FIFA officials taking bribes? Here's why it matters. 1. Billions of fans were betrayed. Soccer is more than a sport for billions of people. It's culture, community, and national pride. When the institution that runs your sport is corrupt, every tournament result, every hosting decision, and every contract is under a shadow of doubt. 2. Real-world consequences. The corruption had real-world effects. Countries that lost World Cup bids may have lost because their rivals paid bribes, not because they were better hosts. Broadcasters and sponsors paid inflated prices. Costs ultimately passed on to consumers. 3. It revealed how global corruption works. The FIFA case is a masterclass in how international corruption operates: offshore accounts, shell companies, and wire transfers through major financial centers. It's a playbook used by corrupt actors in governments, corporations, and institutions around the world. 4. It showed law enforcement can reach anywhere. The fact that US prosecutors successfully brought down a Swiss-headquartered global organization by leveraging US banking laws sent a powerful message. If your money touches America, America can come for you. And that, folks, is the full story of the 2015 FIFA corruption scandal. From the secret bribes and offshore accounts, all the way to the dramatic Swiss hotel raids at dawn, the resignations, the guilty pleas, and the trials. It's one of the most remarkable corruption cases in the history of sports. And, honestly, in the history of global institutions, period. It's a reminder that no organization, no matter how big, no matter how powerful, no matter how beloved, is above accountability. If you made it this far, you're a real one, and I appreciate you watching. If you found this video informative, do me a solid and hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you know. And if you want more deep dives into history's biggest scandals, subscribe, because we've got a ton more coming. Drop a comment below. Primero ainete to know. Do you think FIFA has actually cleaned up its act? Or is the corruption still happening? Let's talk about it. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.